You're listening to 107.5 Webster Radio, and we're going to start the recap of John Apex. I'm John Apex. I'm looking for my mug root beer with a personal cup. Have you seen it? I haven't. But you know what I have seen? The recap. So now you can hear it. Hot dogs! No, it's not. Well, that's an old recap. We have more episodes to recap after a short ad break. Yes.
Welcome back to the recap for John. Are you recording? Is Audacity recording?
No, of course not.
Okay. Welcome back to John Apex recap. It is currently 8:46 here at John Apex. Oh, that's good. That's good. And we're going to recap episode 5 of John Apex. Now, episode 4, we left off with them being trapped inside Mug Root Beer Tower in Anti-Kool-Aid Man's Void. And that's where we start episode 5. Now, they escape Anti-Kool-Aid Man's Void by using Detective Cap Branchman and Pepsi Man, who technically have no powers, so are not affected by Kool-Aid Man's power-draining abilities. Pepsi Man distracts Anti-Kool-Aid Man while Detective Cap Branchman attempts to use his FDA gadgets to save them. Meanwhile, John and the rest are in pain because of Anti-Kool-Aid Man's draining power. Luckily, Detective Cap Branchman is smart and calls Dutch to save them by tricking him into going to Mug Root Beer Tower by telling him that Lord Coca-Cola will buy more money. Will pay him more money to go there. Yep. Dutch shows up, but then Kool-Aid Man's distracted because he got brainwashed, so his PTSD kicks in. And during that distracted state, Pepsi Man pours Pepsi into Kool-Aid Man, therefore carbonating him and causing him to explode. After Kool-Aid Man's dealt with, they capture Dutch and finally interrogate him about why Kool-Aid Man was brainwashed. Dutch tells them about the plot to take over Mug Tower with an army of 100 million Coca-Cola droids. And everyone in the group is shocked. Then, using the information they got from Dutch, they went down to Lunaco Lake Coca-Cola factory to shut down one of the droid production facilities. Yes. After they take it over, they start cloning their own army of crewmates for the Cola Wars. But meanwhile, while they create this clone army, Lord Coca-Cola gets all the pieces of Anti-Kool-Aid Man and recreates him, making him a spy by giving him a crewmate suit and sending him into the crewmate army. And that is where we leave off episode 5.
And episode 6 of John Apex. We started off with our heroes going to Australia to go get something, I'm sure, very important. But they encountered Vegemite Man, who had the power to flip everything upside down, because everything flips upside down in Australia. He was a former ally of Moxie Man in the Big War. Which Big War? Nobody really knows. But anyways, using his power to flip people upside down, or just calling everyone dinner bone with a name tag, his real power. He is defeated, and he tells the tale of a horrible bugler called Gary Owen up there in Iceland. Our heroes go over to Iceland to go steal the Bugle of Power from Gary Owen. They encounter him and they hear sending them flying backwards and covering their ears with cotton and other ear-covering machines. And Gary Owen, his bugling was so bad, nobody could stand it. But Moxie Man managed to defeat him, I'm pretty sure. Or Pepsi Man. And by the way, he's the teacher of Riz Merit Badge, but he never got requirement 5B. He has a eternal partial in it. And now that they have the buggle of power, Cat Branchman from the FDA gets a PhD in USDA science, which gives him more powers for some very good reason. After this, they go to the Moxie Museum up there in Maine, where they find the original Moxie nerve tonic. They fight through a bunch of Coca-Cola robots powered by Moxie. Then Moxie Man regains some power and loses a small amount of dementias. They then start on their way to Uruguay to find the Estes Mug Root Beer promotional flavor in the crashed ISS satellite. You see, the ISS satellite was blown up during the Baja Wars, the Great War, by a Baja Blum. There are Baja alligators everywhere, and the astronauts that were once in the ISS were Baja blasted into horrible mutated astronaut Baja alligators. Our heroes defeat them, and the John Apex gets the Mug Root Beer, Estes rocket flavor. I wonder what they call Estes. But anyways, they launch the spaceship to Mug Root Beer Tower over there in Albuquerque, New Mexico. And once they get there, they work to assemble. Well, they fight somebody. Lord Coca-Cola! But wait a minute. It wasn't Lord Coca-Cola at all. It was Dutch pretending to be Lord Coca-Cola. Lord Coca-Cola was in another tower, and he'd been paid a lot of money by the elusive DRP-23. Who's that? You'll find out more about this guy to distract our heroes. And that does conclude episode 6 recap. Now on to
now on to recap of episode 7 of John Apex. All right, John Apex and our heroes with Dutch as a prisoner and the... Wait, what? Where'd we leave off? Ad. Let's do an ad. Ad break.
Oh yeah, I got a dementia from the Biden blast of last episode. Oh,
Why is it doing that?
wait a second, I hear buzzing. Now the buzzing's gone. I assume the recording's coming out just fine, because I can hear myself talking. But anyways, in episode 6 it was, right, Tommy? I think it was 6, or is it 7? I don't know. The beginning of the Among Us crewmate army. The clone Among Us they were dragged over to...
We assembled it at the tower.
We assembled the clone army at one of the towers in order to destroy all the Coca-Cola robots. They walked all the way to Atlanta to go destroy Lord Coca-Cola with their crewmate army. Yes, they walked. They did not take the Biden mobile or the Mug Root Beer mobile or any other vehicular monster. Isn't that right?
Yep. Anyways, at episode 7, they're going from Atlanta to Mug Root Beer Tower in order to save Mug Root Beer. Their army of Among Us is what? Wait. Oh, wait, that's what happened. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. No, the last...
This is going to be a horrible recording, isn't
This recording's going to be great, Rob. Yes, episode 6, we ended off, they're at Coca-Cola Tower in Atlanta. They defeated Coca-Cola, but it turns out to be Dutch, and, yeah, they have to go back to Mug because they're tricked. Yeah, that's what. All right, now we can start episode 7. Episode 7, our heroes are with Dutch as prisoner, and a platoon of Among Us clones, the last survivors from the Kool-Aid, the Cola War, to get in the tower, are going along. They're a platoon of Among Us has a big Among Us, the Among Us general, who is actually Kool-Aid Man, but we don't know that yet, are taking a Coca-Cola delivery truck outfitted with Listeria lasers back to Albuquerque, New Mexico to save Mug Tower. When they finally reach New Mexico, they find a volcanic wasteland and come to the conclusion that Coca-Cola has invaded and destroyed all of New Mexico along with Mug Tower. They're completely shocked that it has been destroyed. They set up a perimeter around the site where Mug Tower was and begin exhuming the rubble for clues of what happened. They need a perimeter because of the sheer amount of robots. The Among Us are able to hold off the robots easily because they're awesome. They are not sus. As the group digs through the rubble, the General Among Us collapses rubble upon our heroes. But luckily, John Apex does not get crushed, but is shocked to see that General Among Us is using the Schwartz to drop rubble on his friends. He tries to grab a mug root beer, but all of his root beer is gone. How will he save them? Play Better Call Saul.
I used to have a good job until I was accused of stealing. I better call Saul. I was out partying, minding my own business, and all of a sudden, you are under arrest. I better call Saul. Hi, I'm Saul Goodman. Did you know that you have rights? The Constitution says you do, and so do I. I believe that until proven guilty, every man, woman, and child in this country is innocent. That's why I fight for you, Albuquerque. Better call Saul.
And after the ad break in that episode, we realized that John Apex was listening to 107.5 Radio Webster in his truck from earlier and decided to call Saul after hearing the Better Call Saul ads. As John Apex called Saul, he had the clone stall General Among Us, who was really Kool-Aid Man. Saul shows up just in time and gives John Apex the solution to all problems, the duct tape sword, to fight John Apex, as well as a bunch of mug root beers from his limousine so that he can morb. Saul leaves to save the Albuquerque legal system, but John Apex still fights General Among Us. General Among Us morbs and fights Kool-Aid Man, who's really among us right now. And after a long and very, very emotional fight... No, wait, what?
General Among Us.
Oh, yeah, John Apex morb, not General Among Us. I'm not sure if I said that or not. Yeah, anyways, General Among Us, who is now Morbius, he fights the Among Us, and then the Among Us turns into Kool-Aid Man. It's a really good scene. You should watch it. It's on YouTube.
It's on radio.
It's also on radio sometimes. Yes, where was I? Oh, yeah. Anyways, after the epic battle with crewmates and everything, John Apex wins.
Mogus.
And General Among Us is destroyed. And that leads us to our next episode. Episode 8.
In episode 8, John Apex and his entourage
Wait.
first see.
Wait, I forgot to go over the last... sorry, they didn't write it down on the paper. At the end of it, Kool-Aid Man's defeated, but Cattywampus picks up Kool-Aid Man's body, right? Now episode 8.
Cattywampus, the horrible green little lobster monster. Ooh, it's buzzing. Wait a second. There we go. Cattywampus, the little green lobster. Why is it buzzing so much? Cattywampus, the little green lobster monster, comes and steals Kool-Aid Man's body. Oh no! He teleports away, leaving John Apex and his entourage to find him. So, good thing somebody put a tracker on Kool-Aid Man's body, or Cattywampus, one of the two.
It was Cap Branchman. He put it on there. He was in the Bugle of Power.
Of course, the Bugle of Power put it on there. So, they start up a Coca-Cola truck and look at the GPS, and they find out Cattywampus went to Lisbon Falls, Maine. On the drive, they realized they left Moxie Man in Albuquerque, New Mexico. He was sleepy, very, very sleepy, and he didn't have a phone, so they left him a telegraph. Beep, 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 beep. And after a short ad break, they showed up in Lisbon Falls, Maine. But then they saw the whole town was destroyed. There were eastern white pine trees growing through every single building, every single parking lot. The sad parking garage that they definitely have was destroyed entirely. Except every building was destroyed except for one. The northeastern White Castle, the only White Castle in New England, was there and nearly untouched. But it was turned into a real fort by Cattywampus. He was hiding in there with Kool-Aid Man's body. The town and the castle were swarmed by Moxie zombies because they have the Moxie Festival. They were having it then. Then Cattywampus showed up and infected everyone. What is this?
There's nothing on here. What happened?
Anyways, I don't know what happened, Tommy. Something. Anyways, the Moxie zombies, they have to keep defeating them and fighting them. And eventually they make it to the White Castle, where they find the doors stuck. They need WD-40, and there's only one person who has it, Ranger Austin. Now, Ranger Austin can only be summoned one way, through the fix system. If you need to put a fix request in, go to the Jane Webster website, look for fix. It's spelled F-I-I-X, not fix it. You won't find it. She won't be there at the Agnew Health Lodge.
You mean the health clinic?
The health clinic. Gus won't be there. Make sure to put any... Thank you. Make sure to put any repair requests into fix so Austin can see them. Anyways, our hero put a request in there for WD-40. And after 3 days, they went to Bull Moose, by the way, in that time, looking for Lunica Lake and Rennie's and Martin's, just to spend some time and waste it. Because Ranger Austin took forever to bring them their WD-40. And when he got there to give it to them, it was the stupidest request he ever heard. Why would anyone request WD-40? They even put in the wrong building, so he wanted to drive all the way around the camp just to find them. Ugh. Can't believe those people. When you make your fix requests, do it right the first time. They use WD-40 on the door hinges, and they open it. And inside, they find the horrible green monster, Cattywampus. So they fight Cattywampus after they open the door. Right. And using the power of the duct tape sword, they banished the Cattywampus to the Quonset hut eternally. They sealed the doors with duct tape, the fixer of all problems. And Cattywampus was seen no more.
He will rot forever inside of the Quonset. He's the sign that we will never use again because I don't like him. Oh, why is it doing that?
And that concludes episode 8. Stay tuned for episode 9.
Why is it doing that? Stop doing that.
So, episode 9. We love episode 9 because beginning in episode 9... So beginning in episode 9, John Apex and his peeps are starting up the Kool-Aid Man Brainry any Analyzer 3000, and they tried to listen to it talk so they could find the location of the Mug Root Beer Loon Promotional Cup, but they couldn't hear anything over the intense brain rot. All he was talking about was skibbity this, skibbity that. He sounded like Caleb Wilson does. But anyways, they needed to go and find Kool-Aid to unbrain rot Kool-Aid Man's brain. So they went to Hannaford's in Maine. Oh, what store was that in? Lewiston, I'm pretty sure? Lewiston, Maine, Hannaford's. It's just a grocery store. They eventually found normal Kool-Aid, not the grape stuff, but the real red Kool-Aid. They poured it into Kool-Aid Man's brain, and the brain rot ended just long enough for him to tell them where the Mug Root Beer Loon Promotional Cup was. But then the brain rot took over, and they put his brain out of its misery. So they discovered that the Mug Root Beer Loon Promotional Cup is in Lord Coca-Cola's oil rig off the coast of Tahiti near Lunaka Lake. That's really strange. So they have to go down south past the Mississippi. And when they make it there, they encounter.
No, they go to the tower first to get the rocket.
Oh, right. My bad. I slipped on a banana peel and I hit my head and I forgot that they went to the Mug Tower where they found out Herobrine was there. You know, the guy from Minecraft with no pupils and he's literally just Steve? That guy, yeah. He was there. He was in creative mode too. It was insane. They fought. And Mug Dog, he was held by Herobrine. What a horrible, deranged, twisted man that Herobrine. Using his powers, he almost defeated John Apex and his cohorts of miscellaneous soda mascots. But they prevailed through Moxie powers and Listeria beams and whatever else they used. And they managed to get to Mug Dog, who told them, which, when using the Mug Root Beer Dog Translator 5000.
It was the bugle of power. They stuck it in his mouth.
And the bugle of power, they found out the Loon Cup was in the oil rig owned by Lord Coca-Cola. Disregard the thing I said before.
No, what he said before was right. The dog said they could use the rocket to get to Tahiti.
Oh, right. I slipped on an orange wrapper. The thing you get your mandarin oranges from when you used to use pomade in your hair. But anyways.
It's 42 minutes long.
What? Right. So John Apex is going to use his Estes rocket, Mug Root Beer powers. But they just had a Mug Root Beer rocket sitting in their shelf. It was in a crate, I guess. And they fired it up and flew to the oil rig owned by Lord Coca-Cola.
Detective Cat Branchman left. That was a big
And Detective Cat Branchman, seeing this travesty of red tape breaking, left. And on to Tommy for episode 10. This one melted my brain.
Yeah. There's a lot of brain rot in that one. Good. Not just Kool-Aid Man. So they land the rocket. Everyone but Cat Branchman. He left because they weren't following the bureaucracy's orders. The rocket lands on the oil rig off the shore of Tahiti. And they did that earlier. We did that out of order. Whatever. What does that mean? What does that mean, Rob?
You know what? I think we're going to go to a short ad break. Grubhub Perks as deals.
What the hell is Merlin? Yeah, we're here. Anyways, Mug Root Beer Dog uses his nose to try to find the Mug Root Beer Cup. They realize it powers the oil rig. But when they get there, through the labyrinth that protects the Mug Root Beer Cup oil rig power plant, and they find Lord Coca-Cola there. Here's the last line of defense. All his droids destroyed. This is his last thing. Anyways, he's trying to save the cup, protect his stuff. But then, Moxie Man, in a heroic last-ditch effort to destroy the overpowered Lord Coca-Cola, uses a dementia bomb. He focuses all his dementia into one Biden blast and destroys Lord Coca-Cola, giving him permanent dementia. But as a side effect, he got dementia himself. He doesn't remember anything. And Coca-Cola forgot the recipe from Coca-Cola. And that destroyed all his stacks. Anyways, now all Coca-Cola's destroyed. But then, all of a sudden, they heard clapping, and Dr. Pepper appears and easily destroys the group. And he tells them that Coca-Cola was just a front company for the Keurig brand, so that Dr. Pepper could really destroy the world. And he brings in Dr. Pepper robots. They're too powerful. The group's about to be beaten when Black Ops helicopters show up with Cap Branchman, who is now in charge of the FDEA, not the FDA anymore. He's been promoted. Anyways, he took Hank Schrader's job and now runs the FDEA. And he brought Black Ops helicopters and easily destroys Dr. Pepper's robots. Dr. Pepper flees, and Cap in the conveniently placed exit door that is marked exit with like big arrow signs pointing to it and everything. So he leaves, and then Cap Branchman saves everybody from the oil rig, but the oil rig explodes, and John Apex realizes that he left a cup there because he's stupid. But
John Apex, don't forget.
Yeah, he forgot to write. He forgot to write "Don't forget" on the cup, so it's still there. It's just in the bottom of the ocean now on the destroyed Rupert. No, he grabbed the stock.
Oh, he did. I forgot.
Yeah, the oil rig. Yeah, don't forget. The oil rig's destroyed, but it's at the bottom of the ocean now. Anyways, they go back to FDEA headquarters, and they lock Moxie Man away into a cryo chamber, waiting for the time when the cure for dementia is made. And that is the end of Episode 10 and Season 1.
Tune in tomorrow at 8:30 to hear more about the John Apex adventure for the Mario Group Beer Winter Promotional Cup.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
That's right. And this time... Got it.